Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Hope you are all doing great. Welcome to my very impromptu podcast. I have no one in the chat right now. Well, at the minute I said that, hello, Mia Sylvester. And to all of our 27 friends who are hanging out with us, but not necessarily in the chat. Hello, Mia. Nice to have you. It'll be you and I today. Well, what is going on and why I had to just jump on our faves is continent hopping at the moment, as we, which is just so fantastic. I'm telling you, Harry's living his best life. He is in his third continent in a week. Of course, he was in New York last week, and then yesterday he was in the UK for the Wellchild Awards, and we'll talk about that in a second. And today, our fave has continent hopped all the way over to Africa. Our favorite Prince Harry is in Lesotho. And before I even get there, can we just say how amazing these photos are? I'm like, you go, Harry. Of course, the one on the left is Harry in at the Wellchild Award yesterday. And I think the one on the right was when he was in the UK for a court case last year or earlier this year, or what, I lost track of when, but I think that's when that photo was. But either way, they are awesome photos, I'd have to say. I'm like, go, our favorite prince. And this is Harry today in Lesotho, hanging out with Prince Siso's family. That is his niece on the left. I think it's she, or at least she's called Senator Siso or something. And also on the right, him hanging out with two of the other relatives. I think these are maybe the nephews of Prince Siso. But here's Harry out there. Oh, I love the background. He talked about at the UN about it being a mountain kingdom. And I was like, oh, that looks so beautiful. Now I have to go Google Prince Siso's kingdom in the mountain of Lesotho because I just never did. And so I was like, oh, when I saw those photos, and then I didn't have time to go looking it up. So after this, I will go checking out the land of Lesotho and checking out that mountain kingdom Harry talks about. That is his second home or third home, or how many homes does Harry have? But hello, all of my friends in the chat. Yes, Terry's like, Harry is booked, busy, and blessed. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I just love it. I mean, those photos are so bright, vibrant. You know, you think of coming from the rain, because it apparently was raining in the UK yesterday. And well, it was raining in New York for 2 days. Yesterday was actually nice. 2 days ago, it was just like pouring, I think, with a hurricane and all of that stuff. In Florida, we got a bit of it, just the rain part, not the rest. And you know, it's a little bit dreary, and then you come to Lesotho and you see the blue skies in the back there, the mountains, and it's like, oh, amazing. So Harry's not, you know, at least in this area, the weather area, not missing California, because he pretty much has the same thing there in Africa. So yes, our fave is booked, busy, and blessed. Thank you, Thierry. I just she says the mountain kingdom must be really beautiful. Yeah, I would think so. That's why I'm gonna go and look it up, because I just never did. I never did. Other than the photos of Prince Harry there were photos of him there with the kids and also Prince Siso. And I just never looked and to just see what it is. And I was like, oh, I need to go do that. So yes. Hello, Lola Love and JSC and Karen Warner and Rosa and Robin. Hello, everyone. Gwen, Mia, we got before. Let's see, who else is here? Ooh, Robin is here. Patricia's here. Hi, everyone. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I know this is last minute. This was impromptu, but there are times when I have a few minutes and I see something, I was like, and I have a minute and I could jump on it live, then I rather do that than like do a video and then have to edit it and all of that crazy stuff. I'd rather just hang out and chat with you guys. So there you go. So there it is. So there is our Harry, third continent in a week. And I'm sure the British press is still probably there wondering if Harry is going to be meeting with William and Charles. Because, you know, that's the narrative. That is the narrative. They can't, I don't know how many times they're going to write those articles. I don't know how many times they plan on saying those same words of reapartment or uh reunion or build bridge building or whatever word they, olive branches and all the nonsense. I mean, I don't know, it's like a million articles by now. I guess they're going for about 2 billion, and maybe maybe if they won't say it 2 billion times it will happen. I mean, I don't know. But they're probably, some of them are still probably wondering, "Hmm, is Harry going to be staying at Buckingham Palace? Will he go visiting William at Windsor? Oh, is he going to go to Scotland to visit his father?" And Harry's like, see you. Peace out. So I'm assuming, because I saw a report earlier today that Harry left today in the UK, and I would assume since he is already in Lesotho and was having lunch with the CISOs, that he left yesterday. So there's no way he could have left today. So I mean, I know we are 5 hours behind the UK and all, but this would have been, he would have left last night, UK time, to get there. And I just saw someone said that the flight is 17 hours. Ooh, I think I just saw it, and then the post just ran away. I don't know where this post is that I just saw 17 hours. Oh, wait, Lorna. Lorna says, Pedal, I don't know how Harry did it. London to Lesotho flight, 7 hours. Yeah. So while the UK press were wondering if there is going to be a a reunification of the Harry with the Left Behinds, Harry was on a flight. He's like, peace out, people. I am off to Lesotho. I'm off to my family and the real royals of Africa. I just love it. I love it. I love it. And it's funny because it's like they don't know what to do about themselves, because they have this narrative that Harry and Meghan refuse to follow. They refuse to follow the narrative. And you can see it's just like, okay, he's here. Oh, wait, where is he? I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love the fact that the Sussexes people are not letting anyone know. When they get there, they will let you know. They are not saying anything. They're just saying, oh, they're going to be there. And they're not telling you when. And they just show up. And so we knew he was going to be there early October. We just didn't know what date. And that early October is October 1st. So very interesting. We don't know. Harry, after Wednesday, was the last time we know of anything in New York. And so we don't know where he was between Thursday up until yesterday. Some people are saying that he got into the UK on Sunday. Who knows? I have no idea if he got there Sunday or Monday. But maybe because they did mention Harry doing a birthday thing, I guess an international birthday thing. So maybe he went off with his friends for his birthday. Who knows? Maybe he went back to California. Who knows? I have no idea. Neither does anyone else. And I love that. I absolutely love that. And so Harry, and that's the thing with him, when Harry is by himself like this, he can be very, actually, even with Meghan, sometimes he could be very stealth, but much more so when he's by himself. I mean, Harry is military. They're trained to be stealth. They're trained that way. So that shouldn't shock anybody that Harry could get from here to there and no one knows. That's part of military training. So no one should be shocked about that. So there you go. The God, they're used to camouflage. So there you go. Lottie says, I don't think that Harry stayed in the UK that long, right? Well, no, he left yesterday. So who knows? Who knows if he was in the UK since Thursday hanging with his friends in the UK? No one knows. And that's the thing I love about Harry. He could really go stealth and nobody knows anything. And again, hey, that military training comes in really handy. So yeah, very, very nice. I just love it. I'm assuming Meghan is home doing RO, hanging with the babies, doing RO, while Harry is all out, out and about being global sales statesperson. So yeah. Oh my goodness. And it's very funny because I saw this, I think it was like a headline in, I want to say it's the New York Post, but I could be wrong. Someone posted a screenshot of it, and I think it's a New York Post. that basically claimed that yes, Harry was successful in New York, but people aren't ready to see him as a like a global statesman as yet. And they put that there, and I think I could be wrong, but I think it was a New York Post, and not quoting verbatim, but something to that effect. The headline said, and they put that there because the other brother, the left behind brother, that was what they wanted him to be. And all of a sudden, Harry is being that. And all of a sudden, so they have to be like, well, he's not that yet. People don't see him that way. Yeah, people do. They do, absolutely do. And so that's why Harry can do the things he did and did the things he did last when he was in New York. And even before that, I mean, again, we didn't need New York for us to know that. That was very evident, even while he was a royal. I mean, at least in quote unquote, a working royal. Blessing said the toxic British press and media are still in denial. They are refusing to accept that Harry has moved on. I know, it is just, I mean, I don't even know at what stage of grief this is. Because they keep going one step forward and then jumping back like 3 steps. So I don't even know what stage of grief that is. That grief when you've been dumped. I don't even know what stage, because I guess I'm telling you, they need to be in a mental asylum, because I'm confused as to the stages. They refuse to let go. They refuse to acknowledge and accept the fact that they have been dumped. I don't know. It's just funny. It is funny. So, Lola Love says, reports on X said he left last night right after the Wellchild Awards event. Yeah, well, that's what, for him to be in Lesotho today and be having lunch today, absolutely had to have left. There was a video, I think, on what is the channel Chris Ship is on? ITV. Yeah, I think it was ITV. Chris Ship said that Harry had left when he was on, that Harry had left to, I guess, the back door of wherever the event took place. And so while he was on the air, or at least filing his report, Harry had left. And so Harry may have left the Wellchild Award and gone straight to the airport, which most likely is what happened, because first thank you for Alona for a 17-hour flight. Yeah, and for him to be looking all bright and sprightly today in Lesotho, yeah, definitely had to have left yesterday, because again, some in the British press were claiming that, oh no, he stayed and he left today. Again, they have no idea. So, and nobody knows where in the UK Harry stayed. They don't know when he came, and they don't know when he left. So very nice, very nice. Lola says Harry's standing there with his sister. Oh, okay. So it's his sister. Thank you, Princess Senati or Senate. I don't know. It's spelled like a Senate, but it could be pronounced differently, of Lesotho, and with his other cousins. Yeah. Okay. So that's Pinciso's cousins and sister. I thought it was his niece, but oh, sorry. My error. So yeah, very, very, very nice. So I'm assuming Harry and the team that he has taken there, that's going to be working, or at least getting to know about Sentebale. I'm assuming they're all there now. And then of course, what the Archwell people put out is that he's going to be in Lesotho, I'm assuming, for a couple of days, and with that team, and then they're going to move and go over to South Africa, and they'll have business meetings there. So I'm assuming it's a lot of things about investing in the youth here in Lesotho, and also in South Africa. So yeah, very, very cool. I mean, obviously, Sentebale is in Lesotho, and it's also in Botswana. I didn't hear anything about it, about them being or going to Botswana as well. But, we know about Lesotho, and we also know about South Africa. So very, very nice. And, Harry was at the UN. So all the people that were there, well, not all, but a lot of the people that were there are business people, entrepreneurs, people with loads and loads and loads of money. And you know how these people with loads and loads of money like to invest in Africa, which a lot of, at least African countries. Sometimes I side-eye some of it, as you know, because I'm like, But again, if it's with a good heart, as in investing in the youths that are part of Sentebale and other organizations like it, then great. Other than that, no. Keep your money out of Africa. Stay away from Africa. Leave the country alone. Or at least leave the countries alone. Africa is a continent, obviously, not a country. But, so that's my thing on that. So I always side eye stuff like that. But if you're investing in these amazing, if you don't know anything about Sentibale, please go and check out their website and see the incredible things that these young people are doing and how Sentibale is supporting them to help them to grow to be successful, thriving young people who are our leaders. They're the ones that's going to be leading the world. And thank God, because the ones who are doing it right now are literally, as of today, sending us into World War III. And that's another story. I am just so irritated about that. I'm like, let me just focus on our faves, because that situation is like, we need the youth of these people that Harry and Meghan support, because they definitely have they're a lot more interested in humanity. They're a lot more interested in let people live their life and stop having to feel like you need to take over and rule people. So I am very much looking forward to the next generation leading us, because we have failed miserably in this one. So yeah. So I very much support that. So let's see. Oh, Lola Love says, I think Harry and Tyler celebrated a joint birthday party. Oh, where did you hear that? I have no idea. I mean, we know that we saw that, I think, a photo of Harry and Meghan leaving Tyler's party. Oh, I don't know. Where did you hear that, Lorna? That's very interesting. If they did. That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun, I'm sure. So yeah. Let's see what else is happening. With our faves, well, obviously, this is Prince Harry and his brother from another mother, Prince Cecil. Of course, his other brother from another mother, Nacho. Hopefully, I was actually hoping to see Nacho. So again, we only saw those two photos. We don't know who is on that trip. Again, I would not be surprised if Nacho is on that trip as well, because obviously Nacho is one of the ambassadors, global ambassadors for Sentibale, and there are others of Harry's friends that are a part, who are also ambassadors of Sentibale. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're all along with Harry. So who knows? I look forward to seeing the photos and to see who is there with them and what other entrepreneurs. Obviously, as I mentioned in the last episode, there was this gentleman from Google that Harry was talking with in New York, and apparently he is part of that team that's going to be there in Lesotho and South Africa. So very exciting. I look forward to what our fave is doing. And of course, looking forward to whatever Meghan is going to be doing with Aro and her other projects. So very much looking forward to that. And of course, them not being there together, don't be surprised that all the press is like, oh my gosh, they're separating their businesses. Oh my gosh, they're separating. Oh my gosh, they're getting divorced because they're not joined at the hip 24/7. How could they not be joined at the hip 24/7? Well, yes, I know Charles and Camilla are not joined at the hip 24/7, or William and Kate are not joined at the hip 24/7, but it's okay for them, and they're not separating. But if Harry and Meghan are not together, joined at the hip 24/7, of course they're separating. It's just the nonsense of the British press. It makes your head spin. You're like, you people are sick. You are sick. It's just craziness. Anyway, I hope you guys got a chance to look at I haven't even gone through all of the videos yet of Wellchild Awards. Of course, this is one of Harry's favorite events, apparently, according to Scobie, when Scobie was still Royal Reporting. And I actually think it's in one of his books as well, if I'm not mistaken, that this is the first event that Harry puts in his calendar at the beginning of the year. And I can see why. He really, really just enjoys being with those kids. He loves supporting them. And I just know he gets so much out of it himself, so much encouragement. I mean, how could you not? When you're around kids, and if you've taught kids, the joy just from being around them. You learn so much from them. And then to see kids with all the challenges that these kids have, they have a lot of them are terminal illnesses or terminal diseases or whatever it is that they have. that they're not able to have full use of all of their body and all of that stuff. And to see the joy, to see them persevere in spite of all the hospitalization, all the surgeries, and all the, it is amazing. How could you not be inspired by these kids? How could you not want to be around these kids? Because they are out there doing the best they can with every single thing that they have. So it really gives us no excuses when we are able-bodied people running around and, we have down days or bad days. Just look at these kids or remember these kids. And it's just like, well, if they could do it, and they have so many challenges, of course I could do it. you know and so I just really, I mean, I could see why Harry loves being there and loves meeting them. And this is Harry yesterday arriving, and him, obviously he always does a speech. And it's so funny, that lady in the blonde hair lady, I guess she's one that always hosts it, because the first time I noticed her was when Harry broke down. He was crying, and she came and sort of rubbed his back, and that was the first time I noticed that. Now I was like, oh, she's always in the back of Harry. I guess she introduces him, and she's like that welcoming face that's always there. And it's like, oh, there she is again. So yeah, it just, I mean, such a wonderful time with Harry spending time with, and not just the kids too. It's just the kids, the parents, the carers who take care of these kids 24/7. And now through Wellchild, a lot of them, instead of having to stay in the hospital, helping provide, whether it's care at home, where they don't have to spend their entire life in a hospital, that they can get the care that they need at home, which is the goal, to get these kids to be at home in an environment that they know, that's safe and they love. And not that the hospitals are doing a bad job or anything like that, but as with anyone in the hospital, you want to be home. You want to be with your family. You want to be there. And so Wellchild helps in so many situations to be able to afford, to help the parents, whether it's helping them with a carer or equipments that the kids may need to be at home and spend more time at home. So I just think it's fantastic, really a fantastic organization. And so obviously Archwell posted this today, and I love this picture with the kids, the awardees yesterday. Archwell says Prince Harry celebrates inspirational young heroes at the 2024 Wellchild Awards. And of course, there's more to this, but this is just a little clip of it. It says, as more and more children grow up living with complex conditions and disabilities, it is vital that we advance Wellchild's important work. There are still thousands of young people and families out there who need our help, and together we can and will make a difference. As the event unfolded, Prince Harry took the time to meet with the award winners during a special pre-ceremony reception. These inspiring children and young people each share their personal stories, demonstrating immense courage and strength. And a little bit of what Harry says again. It says that to tonight's award winners, huge congratulations, you little legends. Thank you for your courage, your perseverance, your kindness, and of course, your humor. Thank you for being you and uplifting all those around you. And yeah, and again, this not just for the kids who have the disabilities, etc., but also for their siblings who are with them and help to take care of them, parents, carers, all of them, some of whom you see on the stage with Harry in that photo. So it's just, it's like, oh man. And going back to Scobie, one of the things Scobie had said is like, every year it doesn't fail that, there are tears. There are lots of tears, because again, not tears of sadness, but tears of just like, wow, these kids are amazing. And of course, this was the 19th one. So Harry mentioned having great things, that he heard of some great things that's going to be happening for the 20th anniversary, which is next year. So again, we expect Harry back in the UK next year doing this award. Of course, he's there with them all the time, every year, Lord willing, keeps everyone safe, then Harry would be back there next year for their grand 20th anniversary awards. So yeah, I mean, if you're in the UK and you know of a family really that are in need, and they have a child with a disability or any of this stuff that you think can benefit from Wellchild, definitely get in touch with them. Share this information. If you just go on their site, share their website with people that that you think can benefit from Wellchild, because it's there for all the children. So it'd be a shame for someone to not be able to benefit from what Wellchild could offer, not just to the kids, but to their families as well. Because as you know, if you've been around anyone with a family member who has a disability, it's not just a person with a disability, but the whole family it affects. And so all help is needed. So definitely share this and, pass it along to somebody that you think might need it. So, absolutely fantastic. We should have this in New York. Maybe we have this and I don't know. There might be this in the US and maybe just another name. But yeah, very, very cool. Some more about from Wellchild. Harry meeting some more of the kids says, here are some of our favorite photos from the Wellchild Awards in association with GSK. Winners have been truly celebrated, meeting celebrities such as KSI, I don't know who that is, Rod Stewart, Kate Garraway, my own issues with Kate Garraway, Beverly Knight, at Pixie Lot, don't know who that is, as well as a Wellchild patron, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. So these are some of the kids, and obviously Prince Harry actually presented an award to little Noah, and you can see Noah on the side there, the two photos on the side is little Noah, and Prince Harry presenting the award to, I think that little girl at the bottom, her name is Scarlett, and that was so sweet. And we'll talk about that in a second, but what she did was so sweet. She gave to Prince Harry, but little Noah on the side there, that's him in the wheelchair. One of our squaddies, R.S. Locke, reminded us that little Noah that got that award is that little Noah in over here on the left, when he was a baby meeting Harry and he couldn't keep his hand away from Harry's beard. Well, it seems since Noah is now 6, he still can't keep his hands away from Harry's beard. I don't know, it's so funny. We've been talking about beards lately with the other brother trying to grow out a beard. Don't ask why. I have no idea why. But kids always love Harry's red beard. And so this is him as a baby. And now at 6, when now Harry is giving him this award, he cannot keep his hand away from Harry's beard. So it's just like, oh, I just thought that was so cute. Thank you, R.S. Locke, for reminding us of little Noah. And actually, that's part of a video, actually, of him playing with Harry's beard. So, yeah. And little Scarlett over here, she was on one of the, Sky News. I guess they have like I guess it's a morning show. London squaddies, you can tell me if that's true. They have like a morning show of some kind. And so she was on the show talking about her award. And at the award, she gave Harry this little gift. And you can see her giving him this little pouch, this little blue pouch. And apparently on the bottom left, what was in the pouch were 4 hearts. And so 4 hearts, one for him, one for Meghan, one for Lily, and one for Archie. And then so she told the news outlet what it was about, and the heart was she said to Harry, anytime he feels lonely or sad, what he needs to do is press the hearts, and it'll make him feel better, because in the hearts is lots of love. And I was like, oh, and that's the thing with these kids. It's like they're having all these challenges, but their heart is about giving. And so she's like, well, he does so many things for charities, and she just wanted to give back to him, to let him know that, I think she specifically said, to let him know that he was special. And I was like, oh, I'm telling you, these kids are so sweet. I was just like, oh my gosh. And again, that's why I'm like, Harry is there with them all the time. And he's not just, show up every year. He's actively in and work with the group throughout the year. And, even to picking the kids to present who wins the awards and all of that stuff. So he's actively in there with them. And I just think, I mean, you think about it, it's like, oh, for her to think that way, it's like, oh my goodness, let me give him hearts. And for her to have the mindset of like, yeah, then there would be time that he feels sad or lonely, and all he has to do is press the heart and remember. And so it's just like, oh. And I think he mentioned to her that he's been traveling, so he hasn't seen his family or something like that. I don't know if she literally said that or if that is what just the reporter put in there. So, but it's just, I thought it was just so sweet, absolutely so adorable. It's like, oh, I'm sure that was so special for her. And so these are a little more photos of Harry meeting some of the other award winners, and also caregivers. That's two caregivers at the top there. So again, this is how they do it all the time. Even there were times when even when him and Meghan were in the UK, they would go and so they would have these sessions with the families, and then they have the awards. And so yeah, it's like, oh, Harry, that's so cute. That is so awesome. So, yeah, that's what he was doing. And apparently, everybody has been going crazy about Harry's tie. Now, I'm not a tie person. So I was like, oh, okay. But everybody's been going crazy and they love his tie. And so the tie place, who I guess where he got his tie, Reef Knot, were very excited about it. And so they posted on their social media on Instagram, we are very excited to see the Duke of Sussex wearing a reef knot tie for the Wellchild Awards in the UK, I guess in the UK. But it's just, I was like, oh, very nice. And apparently, this is the tie. And so it had like fishies, some like fishies on there. I was like, oh, okay. Maybe the little ones picked that out for him. Who knows? But yeah, they have claimed it, and that so yeah, I'm assuming people would now want a reef knot tie. I'd never heard of them before, but apparently they're a thing. So there you go. And at least Prince Harry is wearing their ties. So there you go. Hopefully that helps give them a lot of business. And the thing about it is so cool because, again, with all the stuff, the British press are like, Harry hates the UK. He is all this thing. And it's like, Harry and Meghan are helping your businesses grow, and they're helping giving you business. So shut up. So yeah, Gwen is like, Harry has little fish on his thigh. Yes, he does. He certainly does. It's just like they're helping your country. They're making you look good while y'all sitting there looking like idiots and gossips in front of the world. Harry's out there making you look good because there are people associate him with the UK. So yeah, hopefully less and less so as the years go on. So yes, but that is our fave. He was out there doing his thing on that continent. And of course, as we said earlier, he is jumped off to another continent. And pretty soon, hopefully, he'll be back with his family on the other continent, on the first continent he was on, back with us here in the US. So, yes. And what else is happening? Well, apparently, and I am not going, and I didn't use their, because I'm like, I'm not giving you any publicity. I'm not using your screenshot of your front page. But apparently, the Daily Fail had Prince Harry, and I think it said like they did a cover story because apparently, according to the Daily Beast, so someone posted a screenshot of the Daily Beast claiming that Prince William put out this rewind. I guess every month now that it's a social media thing they're doing where they do rewind of the month, whatever this stuff they do for the month. And apparently they put it out, and now they're now being accused of trying to one up Harry or steal headlines as usual. This is what they're all about: steal headlines from Prince Harry. Because Prince Harry was at the awards last night, so they're trying to steal spotlight and steal attention from Harry's being at the Wellchild Awards by putting out this September rewind thing that they do. And again, that's a rewind of all their engagements. So apparently that didn't work because Harry has all the headlines, and I'm not in the UK, so just the ones I saw online, looks like just about all of them have it on their front pages. And so apparently the Daily Fail on its front page had the Prince of Hearts, like Diana, Princess of Heart. They had the Prince of Hearts. And then I guess it's maybe a few hours later, the Prince of Heart part was gone. so so people have taken that to mean that they may have gotten a call from the palace. Because how dare they put Prince Harry, Prince of Heart? Maybe they're trying to shake up Prince William into doing something. How dare they have a rewind when they really haven't done anything? And so it's just, again, palace nonsense. Palace nonsense. Because, and apparently there are other situations like that. Someone was saying that royal reporter Richard Palmer posted something. I guess it was positive towards the Sussexes. I didn't see the original quote. And then I guess same thing after a couple of hours. I guess that went down, as that was taken down as well. And so, what's her name? Meredith. She is on TikTok, and she now has a YouTube channel, and I don't remember her last name, but her name is Meredith. She is really, really great. She has a podcast, a YouTube and podcast, and also a TikTok account, and she also posts on X, where she is talking to Anna Pasternak. And if you know who she is, definitely check it out, because today she's supposed to post the entire interview. And she's speaking to Anna Pasternak. Anna Pasternak is a reporter. If you remember that Tatler magazine article where I think it was Catherine the Great article that was supposed to be a fluffy bigging up of Kate, but it was a total takedown. And then Tatler had to take it down because the palace threatened to sue and all that stuff. Well, that Anna Pasternak, she is interviewing Anna Pasternak. And one of the things Anna Pasternak has been doing, because I guess she has now gone away from royal reporting and has her come to Jesus moment and is now reporting the truth, finally somebody, she is now exposing the palace and the British press, their relationship. And so one of the things she says in the clip that Meredith posted was that, and I mean, we wouldn't be shocked, but that the deal with the palace and the press is that the press cannot write anything positive about the Sussexes, and they cannot write anything negative about Kate and William or those in the palace. And that is the deal they have with them. And so whenever you see the press veer off, like Prince of Heart is in Harry, and then all of a sudden you see that comes down, you know that that's the palace most likely enforcing their access journalism. If you are writing anything positive about those two, you cannot have access. So you see those things come down. And part of it, I feel like, is one is kicking. They need to kick Kate and William in the tush because they're not doing anything. And so there comes a time where when Harry are doing stuff like Wellchild Awards and he's in New York doing amazing, it becomes really stupid for you to stop be writing negative articles. There's no benefit to you. And so I could see why they're trying. And then, okay, I put it there and then I have to take it down but they, part of it is that they look stupid if they're attacking someone who is there working with children, while the ones who are getting paid taxpayer money are doing basically nothing. And whatever it is they're doing is just like, okay, whatever, we don't really care. And so, again, if you haven't seen or if you don't know about Meredith, I don't remember what her last name is. I never remember. But her name is Meredith. And that was one of the things that Anna Pasternak says. We're not shocked. We've heard other people say the same thing. But apparently she's going to be doing a whole interview about that palace press relationship. One of the things also, she is really about restoring or revealing the truth about women that the press has demonized. Unfairly demonized, and one of those people is Wallace Simpson. So I actually have to go read that book because I never believed the narrative of that they have been spreading about Wallace Simpson, only because we see what they have been doing with Meghan. We see the lies that they have been spreading up about Meghan. So I believe a lot of the things they said about Wallace Simpson, they did the same exact thing, because those in the press don't change. their behavior doesn't change, their reporting hasn't changed. Why? Because a lot of the people in the press right now are descendants from the one who were there for years and years and years, and generations. That's why there was this big thing with all the Nepo babies in the British press. Their families are all descendants of, they are descendants of the editors and the reporters from years back. And they have just taken the same nastiness and carried it forward from generation to generation. So that was long-winded. But back to this stuff, Kensington Palace and their rewind nonsense. One of the things is I love, they have their issues, the Republic, the Republic group. But again, with William and his putting out his, that rewind thing, apparently of all the great things they did in September, the Republic group put it again, because remember, a year ago, they did the same thing. They put his actual engagements for September on a calendar, just like you would a calendar, as you can see there. And as you can see, William has only done 6 days of work. And with all of these engagements they do, it's usually 45 minutes to an hour long. Very rarely is an engagement longer than that. Basically 6 hours in the entire month of September. That's what he has done. For the millions of dollars, and again, they are getting an extra 45 million pounds for 6 hours of work in an entire month. And they have the nerve to be putting out, let's rewind to September. Rewind to, what are you rewinding to? 6 hours of work? I don't care how, and I haven't seen the video, so I don't care how, fancy it is or whatever it is there. Literally 6 hours of work. And Kate went to the ballet. That's what she did. Oh, she had a meeting with one of those childhood things, apparently. And she went to the ballet. That's hard work. That's the entirety of September. And William has 6 hours of work. I'm sure maybe the ballet was longer than an hour, but that's it. And so it just, again, when you look at what Harry has been doing, again, just in the last week, Harry has done more work than Prince William has done this entire year. On top of continent hopping. It is incredible. I mean, he did that whole continent hop. This is the second time in 5 months. In May, he did a whole continent hopping there as well. When he was in the UK, US came to the UK for I think it was, Invictus, I guess. He came, and then him and Meghan hooked up, and then they went off to Nigeria. Same thing. Twice in a year, in not even, 5-6 months. And then you match that up with what Prince William has done for the entire year. Harry has done more in 1 week than William has done in this entire year. Harry has done, for the 3 days in New York, the engagements he's did in New York, the one in the UK, and now going on to, in 4 days. 4 days of work, Harry has done more than William has done in a whole month. So what is he rewinding to? It's incredible. Again, the amount of money these people make. I don't understand why the British people aren't banging down the doors of every one of their palaces. I don't understand how they are able to get away with it. These are not elected officials again. But as we talked about the other day, even though they're not elected officials, they wield all this power and they take all this money and nobody's saying anything. So it is incredible. It is absolutely incredible to me. So let's see. I'm just going to jump in the chat and see what you guys are saying. Cynthia says, nothing was wrong with Wallace. She was a beautiful socialite. The king saw her and fell in love, and he stepped down to marry her. He never regretted his decision. There you go. And did anyone read Anna's book? I'm going to actually pick it up, because I want to know this woman too. Because again, judging from what the British press has done to Meghan, a lot of the things they've written about people are lies. And so I would never look at anything, any author, British author, the same after watching what they've done to Meghan and all the lies they tell on the daily. And then these are the same people who go and write books. So I'm very interested, thankfully Anna has had her come to Jesus moment and now she's being honest. It's just like, oh, okay. Thank you. At least you're telling the truth. So, but yeah. Yeah, I don't believe that Wallace is what they were saying she was at all. They demonize people as they're demonizing Meghan on the daily. So let's see. Terry says that is why they keep trying to compare her to Meghan. Yeah, because they've painted such a bad picture of her and there is no pushback because we don't have they didn't have social media back there. I don't know. Again, I haven't really gone looking into Wallace Simpson's life, so I don't know her relationship with the press, if she was able to push back on any of it. I don't know anything. So all we have, again, because we don't have her voice, is the picture that the British press has painted. And that's why they've been so angry that Meghan had the audacity to push back on them with the truth, with her actual staff. And I'm going to do my next episode, which I keep pushing back, but I'm going to do my whole next episode on that exact thing because they are just counting on you. It's how narcissists work. Whenever you push back on them, they want to abuse you, but don't you dare open your mouth and defend yourself because they will further try to demonize you. They further want people to think you're crazy, which is what they're doing because of those. You've seen the headlines that they have been associating with Meghan. It's the same thing they did to Princess Diana. That's almost the same words they use with Princess Diana. To this day, people like, oh, she had mental issues and all of that stuff, which is a lie. And again, even as one of them said, even if she did, it's what they were doing to her is what caused that. And so, yeah, it just, I don't believe a lot of the things they said about Wallace Simpson at all, because we see on a daily basis how they lie about Meghan. And we have social media, we have cameras, we have social media, we can go back, we can look back. I mean, they have videos and they're still doing it right there, right in plain sight. So imagine someone who doesn't have a voice, who has not been able to, well, and she's dead, so she can't push back, and there's nobody to speak up for her. Nobody to say, you are lying. And so Anna has now gone on a mission and going back and restoring people or recovering people's reputation that basically the British press has demonized. And so I think she started with I think it's the wife of her father or something like that. I have to go back and see. I quickly scanned it. But so that's her mission in life now. And so she did one on Wallace Simpson again, which I have to see. Mary says, Lorna, I watched Meredith's interview. Wow, it was great. Oh, okay. So today she was dropping the full interview. So, okay, great. I'm glad she dropped it because I'd love to see it. I just saw the clips that she posted yesterday. And again, check out Meredith. She's fantastic. Check out her podcast. And if you're on TikTok, she's there. If you're on X, she's there as well. Mary, what is Meredith's last name? I think Constance, Meredith Constance, Constance. I don't know why the last name always I'm always like, what's her last name again? So it's Meredith, Meredith Constance. So yeah. TMCD says 6 engagement of no substance, none whatsoever. And not only that, yesterday, that's how much he doesn't have a pull. He had to bring in David Beckham, who, poor David Beckham, he's so desperate for a knighthood, he would do pretty much anything. It's like, sure, go stand by a helicopter and smile. Sure. I mean, apparently David was part of helping raise funds, I guess, to get this helicopter for the air ambulance. This is a good thing. I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking. That is a good thing. But it's funny that, William can't get the press he needs. So let's drag in David Beckham. We get more press with David Beckham. Yeesh. So, let's see. Moving on. Let's see. Angelina, hello. Angelina says, that's why they're attacking Meghan so hard for no reason right now. It definitely feels like an uptick since Harry has been on the road. Yeah, it definitely, absolutely, definitely an uptick. And again, one of the things, and again, I said this before last year when Harry's film, I think, what was it? And I think they did it when Live to Lead was going to come out, and also when Heart of Invictus was going to come out. Oh, this was when they really started. When the award season was going, they were, I think they were, people were going to, pick for the award season for the Emmys when people were voting. And it seemed like they really wanted to make sure that Harry and Meghan, the docuseries, did not get voted on. They did not want people voting for that. And they started this attack on Harry and Meghan, and that's with the whole, and then that whole thing with Spotify and all of that stuff happened. And I said it back then with a Hollywood Reporter and Deadline, both of whom, by the way, are owned by the same people. And they started for no reason, out of the blue, this attack on the Sussexes that, got blown up. And then they brought in with Spotify, and then you had the Wall Street Journal, all of them. And apparently they have some kind of relationship with Murdoch. I wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, Murdoch owned the Wall Street Journal. But the Hollywood Reporter and Deadline, it was just like out of the blue, out of nowhere. And it's the same thing they did this time with that whole crazy stuff about Meghan, and her staff. And out of the blue, and again, whenever something for Harry and Meghan are coming out, someone that we know is sort of like pushing them. Okay, we need an attack. And we know Meghan's RO is coming out for the fall. So it's like, okay, let's start now with the attacks so that we will do everything we can to make sure that is not a success. And then if it fails, we can all celebrate that Meghan is a failure. Not that we did anything to make sure that happens. This is the goal. Whenever especially when Meghan is involved. When Harry is doing something, they'll attack, but they will do it in a way that they make sure it doesn't really damage Harry because they want Harry back. But they want him back without Meghan. So they want to make sure she's a failure. This is what they're doing. And if she were to stand up for herself, then it gets worse. This is how narcissists work. It is just like, but I'm happy to see, and I decided I wasn't going to talk about that whole thing until Meghan spoke up. And I'm glad she was, spoke up for herself and had her people come on and speak their truth about what it was like working for her and working with her, and seeing that the people that Hollywood Reporter named as part of like the Sussex Survivors Club, those people are the one who are like, no, that's not our experience. That's not true. That's false. And if you notice, Hollywood Reporter hasn't been heard from since on that issue. From this cobbled together stuff that they stole from the British press. I mean, they stole all of that stuff from the British press. And if you ever, I don't know if you had read the article, there's not even a journalist name on that article, just two editors. And that was the first sign that gave that whole thing away. It's like, well, where's the journalist name in the byline? There is no writer there. There's no journalist there. They're just two editors. And why do you need two editors? Well, nobody wrote the article. You just took and just edited pieces together to make up an article and lie on the current staff. That's all you did. And so it's just, but again, people are the minute they hear anything, even if there's no evidence in anything, they're like, oh, Meghan Markle, sure, of course she is. Because the Hollywood Reporter says it. And it's like, no, the Hollywood Reporter that used to be the industry Bible is not that Hollywood Reporter does not exist anymore. Because that Hollywood Reporter is more about entertainment news / like People Magazine-esque kind of things that they're doing now. That's the direction they're going in. For them to write such a shoddy article that is just completely makes no sense and quotes that they stole from the British press, tells you specifically who they are. And it's a news outlet that is losing money. Last year, they were one they and again, they're from the same people own them. I think Penske or whatever it is that owns them. Have the same owner. Last year, there started to be all these reporting about what's going on at Hollywood Reporter because they started laying off people. And again, this company that's literally laying people off and people are quitting because they're not making as much money and the standard is going down, have the nerve to be talking about anybody else's company is a little laughable, for one thing. And then you have news outlets starting to write about them, about what's going on and the fact that they're losing money, and they've been threatened that people are going to be starting to be laid off. And then one of the things you started seeing with the Hollywood Reporter is that them starting to jump on the royal bandwagon. Because the only time they used to report on anything royal before would be if Kate and William went to BAFTA or something relating to BAFTA, or they're doing a fundraiser, but it had to be something related to the entertainment industry. That was all they did before. Then all of a sudden, when they started, and all of a sudden when they started, when they started having money issues, and they changed their editor, their lead editor, and all of that stuff, all of a sudden they started jumping on the royal bandwagon, specifically Kate Middleton bandwagon. And so you could find for this whole year, especially during the Kate Middleton cancer debacle, that was all they were reporting on. Kate and her cancer stuff. Kate and her cancer stuff. So when Kate's video, the last video she put out, that I am free of cancer, whatever that video was about, all of a sudden they needed, and that bombed to high heaven, and everybody, including their friends in the British tabloids, were criticizing that video. All of a sudden it was Hollywood Reporter to the rescue. Let's cover for Kate. Let's find something to to just redirect people's attention to. Oh, let's go after Meghan. Let's go stealing old British press reporting about Meghan and her staff, and let's cobble together a lying article and blame that on her staff in the US. And that's where you get all this mess. And I think look, if I was one of those staff members, I would literally sue the Hollywood Reporter. Because when you do that kind of stuff to people and claim that, oh, no, it's the American staff that leaked that stuff, which obviously a lot of people are like, that's not our experience. And they were claiming that, oh, no, that Harry and Meghan's American staff were the ones saying this. What you are doing there is, people know who work with Harry and Meghan. So you're basically telling the world that these professional people who have had other jobs in Hollywood are the ones leaking information onto their boss. Now, if I know who these people are in a company, and I see that these people are leaking on their boss to the press, if they left Archwell, would I want to hire these people? No, I wouldn't want to hire anyone who I think will go leak on my company to the press. So not only did they try to damage Meghan, but they're trying to damage their staff and their staff credibility. And so I'm like, look, if I was Archwell staff, and especially the ones who, still there and who have left, I would team up and sue the Hollywood Reporter. Because you're not only trying to damage this organization that's doing great thing, you're also damaging the reputation of the people there who are not into the British press and the British nonsense that's going on in the UK. Because then that puts their livelihood in jeopardy. Not only in jeopardy with their bosses at Oshawa, because, if that's true, then you'd be thinking, well, which one of you were leaking to the Hollywood Reporter? And if these people leave, then I'm going to be looking at them. If I'm at another company, be like, how do I know you weren't the one that were leaking on Archwell? Why would I want to hire you in my company? So that you can go leaking to another press? So it's just like, I'm like that. It's so damaging all around that they do stuff like that. So I'm happy, again, I'm very happy that Meghan and Harry put that out. Some people like, I can't believe they did it in the Us magazine. That would have been my choice, because again, Us magazine and People, again, I see them as they are tabloids to me. But Harry and Meghan do have a relationship with People magazine, and apparently the actually, and I didn't know this because I don't pay attention to Us magazine because I'm like, y'all just a tabloid. Apparently the editor, they Us magazine, which had really, it was on the level of People, and then it really went down to this gross tabloid, or even worse than it was. And so apparently now it's trying to change its ways and go back to where it was and get, to a higher form of reporting. Apparently the gentleman who is editing it is the same person that when Meghan was having the issues in the UK, her friends went to People and were like, no, she's not like that. Apparently that same editor is the one now at Us magazine. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's why she chose Us magazine. Now that wouldn't be, I wouldn't have gone to Us magazine again. That's how I see. But I could understand when I heard that, I could understand why she went to Us magazine with the same editor, Dan Wakefield, because that was the one that put out that no, what they're saying about Meghan in the UK is false. And so I could understand they have a relationship there. So, but that's kind of where that is. But again, I'm just happy that she was able to speak up, and her staff, all the people that the Hollywood, not all, but I think 4 or 5 of them that was in that Hollywood Reporter article, including the last guy who left and was there for 3 months. He was like, no, they were very nice and welcoming and hardworking. That was his experience. It had nothing to do with any of the nonsense from the UK. So I was happy to see that they spoke up, Mandana. And again, all of the things they said is stuff that we knew, because Archwell already told us this is why they left. This one had, their contract was a year and they left after the year. That was the end of their contract. It was all they have not lied about these people. But again, Hollywood Reporter did not do their homework. They didn't do any research. Because if they did, they would not have written that article. It was cheap clicks. They wanted cheap clicks, and that's what they did. So it's just really sad. And I think that's one of the things I've always said. I will never understand why Harry and Meghan have not figured out that the US press in a lot of ways is the same as the British press. They have too large a platform to not have their own press and not rely on the American press. Maybe someday they'll figure it out. They have a much bigger platform than any of the press that they speak with. They have a much bigger reach. And so I don't know why they're still doing it. I don't know why they haven't figured that out. I have no idea. But prayerfully one day they will figure out the kind of reach that they have and the things that they can do. They don't need the press. They literally don't. And so maybe someday. But I am glad that they are starting to push back and people know that, oh, okay, they're not going to just say stuff and then Harry and Meghan are not going to do or say anything. They just need to do it faster, because again, with the 24-hour news cycle, things are like, oh, okay, that was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, because the lies travel so fast. We need to get truth quicker, so that way by the time you don't bring out truth like 2 weeks later, people forgot what the whole thing was about. You need to bring that out quicker. So their press people, they're getting better with their not advertising, their marketing, their press things. Their press just need to step it up a little bit more. Right now they're still in the early 2000s. They need to get into 2024 with their press. And so Ashley, I think her name is Ashley, she needs to step it up big time to be more, she needs to be more effective with their press. So but people grow and grow the time they grow. So there you go. That's all I got to say on that one. But anyway, let me stay in the chat for a little bit longer, see what else you guys are saying. That was long. I didn't plan to talk about that. I didn't plan that at all. But anyways, let's see. Lola Love says, I heard John Amos, the father on the Good Times show, has died today. He was 84 years old. Yes, I saw that. He did pass. That is very sad. It is very, very sad. But yes, I saw that today, that he passed away. Um, Oh, well, I'm glad. I'm always happy to show and share our faves' great work. I mean, they're doing good work. They don't have to do any of the things that they do. That's why it's so egregious when people attack Archwell. It's like Harry and Meghan don't need to be doing any of this stuff. They could just sit in Montecito and enjoy their millions. They do not have to do any of this stuff. If Archwell goes down today, they don't lose anything. The people who they help lose. And that is what people don't get. And these crazy people who attack them don't seem to understand Harry and Meghan don't need this stuff. They do it because they love to do it and they love to help others. The people that they help are the one that's going to suffer for this. So, yeah. Let's see. What else you guys are saying? Uh, hmm. Lottie says, Charles also know Meghan is a good person. Charles used to like Meghan at one point. I don't know what happened. I, yeah, it's kind of like muddled as to what exactly happened with that. I know there was one situation, apparently, who knows if this is true, where Charles wanted Meghan to do some kind of video thing for something he was doing and she didn't want to do it and she canceled on him or something like that. Or she said no or something. And if you know Charles, you don't say no when he asks you to do something because, again, Charles does not hire people who say no. All of his people are yes people. And Meghan said no to whatever it is he wanted her to do. And that was apparently the start of a break in that relationship. So, yeah. What else happened? I don't know exactly, other than they didn't really help Meghan when she need help. So, yeah. Yasmin said, yes, married is constant. It's constant, not Constance. Okay, thank you. Meredith Constant. So sorry, gave you the wrong spelling there. That is her name. That's the girl with the podcast with Anna Pasternak. So definitely watch that because when I'm done with this, I'm gonna run over there and watch that myself. So yeah. Let's see. Lottie says the UK media can say Meghan is nasty as many times as they want to. Harry knows that's a line. Harry knows that Meghan is a good person. That's why he married her. And just any person who is not doesn't have some kind of hatred towards Meghan for reasons because the British press, basically groomed them into hating her. Any right-minded person can see that this, like, what are you hating? For what reason? She hasn't done anything. So you barely even hear the girl. So yeah. Let's see. Thierry says THR trying to sell Kate to the American public, which is what it is. Yeah, they are definitely trying to sell Kate. I would not be surprised if that is part from the palace, because again, their press person is American. Lee Thompson is American. He was I think Disney and I think NBC as well. And so yeah, that's one of the reasons why they want to revamp their royal foundation in the US. And yeah, they are trying to sell them to American public. But again, what they don't realize with America, that we don't function the way the UK functions. You have to do something. You can't just hang around and not do anything and just get by on, well, I'm popular, I'm a princess. That doesn't work in the US. You're not doing anything. If you did something, then people may start to notice you. But if you're not doing anything, they're not going to be sold. They're not going to sell you here. You don't function like that, where you can just skate by for your entire life. Just, well, I'm a princess. Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that here. So that would be a lost cause. That would be dead on arrival. So yeah. Lana says, but there was a podcast creator that talked about how wonderful Meghan was at the UK events that she was at, but it was KP event staff that was rude and awful. Yes, I remember that. That was when Meghan did the, what is that charity with the, my brain is gone today. I'm like, I can't remember anything. I don't know. My brain isn't gone. But she was saying that when Meghan did the smart set, the SmartWorks smart set, when she introduced that was the opening or the launch event for the smart set collection, which I have like 3 pieces, and she said at that event, Meghan was really nice to everybody, but the people who were really rude were the Kensington Palace staff. And so it was really interesting because this is the kind of thing they would try to blame on Meghan when it's the staff that was rude. Very evident, too. There was a video of even King Charles walking into an event in some building. And this female staff of his, I don't know what her rank is with King Charles, was so nasty to the people when she was walking in. Very rude. And so you see that stuff a lot. And then they blame the star or the person, for example, like Meghan. You see that a lot where a celebrity would have staff and the staff would do stupid stuff like tell people like, oh, don't look in their eyes and all of that stuff. And I remember I think it was Tyler Perry, who was saying, please don't ever do that. It's the other thing. Because what ends up happening is that you blame the person, like the celebrity or the star or, something like that, for that behavior when they never told anyone to do any of that stuff. But people take it upon themselves to do crazy stuff like that. And the staff end up being really rude when the person they're working for is not. And so it's just very, very interesting. Let's see. Angelina says, too cowardly to put your name on your own article. Tell you all you need to know. Exactly. That's the Hollywood Reporter article. There is no journalist on that article. None. They're just 2 editors. And again, if someone wrote that article, why is their name not there? Why is just 2 editors? And again, because they just stole headlines and narratives from the British press. Literally, that whole thing, whether it's Duchess Difficult or whatever the other names they put on there, all of that stuff is from the British press. They stole, and they just stole it and edited it together. That's why they have 2 editors' names on that article and not a journalist, because nobody wrote it. They just edited pieces together and created and then slapped their Harry and Meghan's American staff name onto it. It's claiming that, oh, they're victims of this in some way. And then it's just like when, obviously the staff and ex-staff are like, no, that's not my experience. That wasn't true at all. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, very true. I mean, everyone knows. And it must be so embarrassing for David Beckham. Everybody knows that he wants a knighthood. So he would lick their shoes forever until he gets that knighthood. That is just so sad. That is just so sad. Lola said, I should have clarified. The FBI said Wallace Simpson was possibly a Nazi sympathizer. What we know of the American FBI or the American government, just take all of it with a grain of salt. These people lie and lie and lie. I mean, you just have to watch what they're doing now to know that you should take everything you hear in history with a grain of salt, because the chances are they're lying. They have a narrative and they will paint this stuff on people. We just have to watch what they're doing right now to know that don't be so quick to believe what they say about people. Go back and do your homework. So, yeah. Because back then, again, they didn't have cameras, they didn't have the internet, they didn't have any of that stuff that we have today. So now we can go back and it's like, wait a minute. What? This does not make sense. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Alona says, Alona, I think you're it. Says, I understand that Queen Mary and the Queen Mother were pulling strings behind the scenes to make it extremely difficult for Wallace Simpson. I wouldn't be shocked. Because again, we've seen what they do. We've seen what they did to Princess Diana. We've seen what they've done to Meghan. I mean, I would not be shocked at all, because we see a little bit of how they operate and how they use the press to demonize people, and how they groom their audience to demonize those people. And next thing you know, in history, that's what goes down. So yeah, and then obviously Wallis Simpson is not alive today. She can't speak for herself. So Terry says, oh, she's talking to Cynthia. They hate it when anyone marry for love and leave that institution. Of course, they're a cult. That's why, as Harry calls it, a death cult. They are a cult. And that's why it's been, I mean, so difficult until Harry completely cut ties with them, like completely cut ties with the royal family. There's going to continue being this stuff to keep going on. That's the thing with cults. When you leave, you literally have to cut ties. You can't have any connection to them. You have to turn your back and walk away. Any kind of connection, they will exploit it in every way, shape, or form. So, yeah. So, let's see. Lottie says Wally Simpson didn't even love that man. He was more into her. Is that the truth, or is that what they said? Because they say the same thing about Meghan. They say this press say the same exact thing about Meghan. When they try to play them off against one another, they say the same thing. So is that the truth or what the press said? And that's the thing. Because they drum it home over and over and over and over. So then in a lot of people's minds, it becomes quote unquote truth. And it becomes the truth that people believe, as opposed to, well, was that really the truth? I don't know. I don't know anything about Wallace. It could be, but who knows? So let's see. Lorna says, this is the same FBI that was under Edgar Hoover and was trying to frame MLK. Exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing, people forget just a little bit ago, they were branding people all of this stuff. They were branding people all of these names. And it wasn't true, is because they want to paint people that way. It's the same thing they're doing now, like in the Middle East. You have situations where Israel is literally committing genocide, massacring people on a level that has never been seen before. Every single day now they're massacring people in Lebanon. I have friends who are family in Lebanon are freaking out. And they're calling the people they are massacring, whose land they are illegally occupying, by the way, they're calling the people that they're massacring the terrorists, and saying about themselves that they are quote unquote defending themselves. This is how they work. And so notice how often they repeat that pattern. Israel is defending itself. You will hear it from the president, the vice president, the media, everyone in the West. And that's what they do when they're ready, when they're branding people. Everywhere you turn is going to be Israel is defending itself. Meanwhile, Israel is terrorizing the rest of the world. They're terrorizing their neighbors on land that they don't belong on, that they stole. They are the ones doing it. And yet they are branded the innocent ones who are defending themselves. While the people who have no means of getting anything to defend themselves, they don't even have an airport where they can even leave. When they're literally under Israeli rule, they're under apartheid rule, and they are being branded the terrorists. So we have to be careful when you see stuff where the FBI, the CIA, the US government label someone. Be very careful that you don't pick that up, because more times than none, it's propaganda meant for you to demonize that person. Nelson Mandela, who everybody praise now, was deemed by the FBI as a terrorist. That's right. Nelson Mandela, who everybody's like, oh, Nelson Mandela is everything in the world. He was called by the United States government a terrorist. That's right. And many people didn't realize that. So that's why when I say with stuff like with, Wallace Simpson or whomever, is be very careful. Be very careful, because a lot of times with stuff like that, with people like that, especially revolutionary people, people who are fighting back against what countries in the West are doing, they will be branded terrorists. They will be branded all of these names. And it's not true. It's a lie. It's a propaganda. So it's the same thing. It's like the same pattern the UK have, the US have. They all do the same thing. So yeah. So that's why I'm like, I'm going to go back and read. And again, I'm grateful that Anna Pastor did it. Definitely going to go read her book about Wallace Simpson and actually do some research on my own to really get to know who she is as a person, and not about what the British press say about her. Bonnie says Margaret Thatcher called Nelson Mandela a terrorist. Yeah, the U.S. also did the same thing. Nelson Mandela, of all people. It's just like, what? Yep. And Nelson Mandela was definitely, Palestine, they have a statue of him. Who knows? Israel may have bombed that too. I don't know. But they have a statue of him in Palestine because of his advocacy for them, because he was one of the people that says, if Palestine isn't free, none of us are free. Because the same people that are doing what they're doing in the Middle East are the same people that lead this country and are in Germany, in the UK, the same thing. So yeah, again, Nelson Mandela of all people. So yeah, but anyway, couple more before we end. This conversation has strayed in a direction I was not planning to go. We've gone all over the place. Mary 8 says, boo boo, I love Edward and Wallace Simpson story. Okay, so now I gotta go see and read up on Edward and Wallace. I'm very excited to learn about them. So yes. Natasha says we can't agree on everything, and I hope not. We are all different people, so no, we cannot. So yes. Sylvia says, Connie, yes, we have to stay in prayer, but we can't let our God down. He has what he's always wanted, a family. Exactly. So prayerfully, that will stay, that God will keep them safe together and safe and happy. And so, yeah, that's all we can do. Pray and let God do his thing. So there we go. So anyway, guys, I think that's it. I am so happy that you guys are hanging out with me again with my very, very impromptu podcast. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to our awesome moderators who are on here, and some of them are not. But Lydia Church, Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream, Black Queen, you are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to all of you who support the channel, our 2 cents crew, and also to those of you who support in the chat, I appreciate you so much for your support for the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway, guys, I love you all. Have a great day, and I will chat with you next time. Bye.